One of the biggest threats to a happy marriage is when one or both parties have unrealistic expectations of each other. When those expectations are not realized, you might feel betrayed. And this is when you may begin to believe myths that lead you to have unrealistic or incorrect expectations that do harm to your relationship. In this book, we will shed light on those myths. When my expectations of Steve were not being met, I remember feeling betrayed because he had promised to always make me happy. How self-absorbed I was back then. God used my disillusionment to show me my selfish heart. Have you ever had expectations come crashing down around you when reality sets in? How did that experience make you feel? Are you in a similar situation right now? Or maybe you have experienced years of disappointment in your marriage. Whatever the case, let's talk for a moment about how disappointment turns into disillusionment. You might feel betrayed when you come to realize the man you married is not the man you had perceived him to be. If you have been married for any amount of time, I am sure that by now you have your own secret list of things you wish you could change about your husband. I find it interesting that frequently the very qualities a woman was attracted to while dating her man often become the rub in their relationship after they are married. For example, before marriage, I love his spontaneity. We can sit for hours and just hold hands. He's a hard worker. He's frugal. After marriage, he's irresponsible. He doesn't talk to me. He works too much. He's a tightwad. I could go on, but you get the picture. Have you considered your husband may have his own secret list of disappointments about you as well? Rather than dwelling on what you wish your husband would change, what if you were to make a list of how you have changed after marriage, and instead work to be the woman your husband had hoped that you would be, the wife you meant to be on the day that you said, I do? Seriously, stop for a moment, evaluate the type of wife you had hoped to be, and the kind of wife you actually are. When your husband looked at your beautiful face as you cascaded down the aisle, what kind of wife did he expect you would be? Have you measured up to your own expectations, let alone his? I have taught this message at women's events. When I ask each woman to measure herself against the kind of wife she meant to be and the kind her husband had hoped she would be, tears begin to fall. If we were honest with ourselves, I think most of us wives wish we could go back and change the way we have treated our husbands at certain times. Am I right? In more than 30 years of ministry, Steve and I have listened to countless couples reveal how disappointed they were in the person whom they had married. Whenever a wife can convince her husband to come in for biblical marriage counseling, she often secretly says to herself, oh good, now my husband is going to find out all the ways he needs to change to be a better husband so that I can be happy. Can I let you in on a little secret? Looking to your husband to make you happy is an unfair expectation.